there are many threats to accomplish a one world order. You see that in the environmental movement, through the United Nations, through socialism, through potential theocracy of Islam. I don't think any of these quests will win, but I think ultimately a lot of them will make progress in the short term. I think they'll prosper, acquiring the debt and the resources of nations like us who are just willing to give it away. I'm afraid they're going to leave much of our generation, our culture impoverished in the short term with our devalued currencies, our lost work ethic, absence of hope and promise. They're going to leave us wallowing in our greed and sensualness, I'm afraid. But I'd like to just kind of leave that with you. If I give you anything positive, I'm sorry. but it's really, I think the one thing is to recognize it's really, and I like to leave it looking at what are the basic problems. To me, the dilution of our culture, especially with immigration, is a big one. Rejection of the Christian faith upon which our culture was based, destroying our culture. Increasing size of government, increasing burden of debt and taxes, loss of manufacturing jobs, increasing entitlement programs, degradation of our education system, loss of the press, censorship, disregard of civility and rules of moral restraint. These are the big problems. I'm going to charge Jerry to look to you and decide as a club what you're going to do about it. I'd like to suggest that as a club, well, not as a club, as individuals and as a club, I'd really like to see you start thinking about, urge your churches to stand up. This is something that really bothers me. A lot of us go to very active churches, but they're afraid to stand up and call sin, sin, and wrong, wrong. Jesus never accepted evil. He was a tolerant person, but he did not accept evil. Jesus did not accept evil. I think the church is going to wake up, especially with all this one-sex marriage and everything, you know. If they don't accept this, if they show any resentment to any of these policies, they're going to lose their tax status. There's going to gradually be a clamping down on the churches. We're not going to have the freedom to worship that we think we have. Demand world competitive education. Again, I don't know what this core standards is, but I haven't seen anything that even begins to visualize what it's going to take for our kids to compete. It's going to take a lot longer time, a lot more intense education, it's going to take a lot of drill, not money, but it's going to take a lot more intensity than we are looking at. We need to look at what the rest of the world, how they're competing. Oppose amnesty. That's it. If you didn't get anything else out of this thing, our culture is being diluted with immigration. I may be going out on a limb here, and this is something I've just kind of been wrestling with for the last few weeks, watching Marco Rubio and everything else. I don't think, there's no way we're going to build a big enough fence. First of all, we won't do it. We keep saying we're going to do it, we don't do it. I don't think we're going to stop people coming into this country, and there's no way we're going to kick out 12 million or 20 million illegal immigrants. My feeling, and one I would like to look at, let's give them green cards. Let them work. Legally make them, let them work in this country. Let them pay taxes. Don't give them amnesty. Don't give them citizenship. Don't give them the right to vote. When you give them the right to vote, then they're overwhelming us and controlling us with their ideals that come out of their culture. They're voting their own articles. Give them green cards, but don't let them vote. Why should you give citizenship to somebody that came here illegally? Fight growth in government at all levels. You can pick that up. You can do that right here in Lake County. You can do that right here in Lewisburg. We've got to stem the growth of government. I think we have to stand up for debt reduction. Debt reduction is killing us, and it's inevitable. It's just going to overwhelm us. We already got over $400 billion in debt payments in our budget. That's going to double it if interest rates go up. Well, it's going to go up every year anyway with just the deficit we're increasing. And then the entitlement program on top of that. The one that kicks into that is Obamacare. I think we have to demand repeal of Obamacare. If for no other reason, we can't afford it, that adds to the debt problem. But look back at what happened in Russia. That's going to hasten the demise of our population, possibly.
why we see environmentalism as a threat. Because it seems to me like even our churches, Christianity is increasing our recognition that we need to take care of our creation. And I know a lot of...
I don't see environmentalism as such.
Oh, I thought you...
I believe in conservation.
I
And unfortunately, under the title environmentalism, we are trying to, we're getting more and more into the control of capitalism, control of families. I think we're getting into the government issue. Conservation, I think God gave us a beautiful world. I believe this is the most blessed country since Israel. Okay, and we're not dealing well with our resources. Conservation, I believe in, but I also believe in capitalism, and I think we have to keep that in mind and work for the benefit of society, our religion, our culture as a whole. And we have to be careful of the narrow side of it. And I think that's what happens in so-called environmentalism. There's also a Bible passage that I like, you know, the sun will always rise, the sun will always set, the ocean will rise, the oceans will fall. God controls this world. I think He intended for us to be good stewards of the resources He gave us to them. But that includes a lot of things. And we start feeding on people's lives and the essence of the civilization we built on capitalism. When we start approaching world order in order to control the environment, I think we're getting outside. I do believe in conservation. Strong.
You mentioned Singapore and the fact that they're doing a lot of the right things. What is their demographics? What's their religious background?
It's interesting. Singapore, and one thing about Singapore, it's easy to handle. There's only like 3.5–4 million people. It's basically just a city, okay? Singapore is probably 40% Chinese. It's probably 40% Indian. The rest is Malaysian, and a lot of that would be Chinese. A very large part of it is Hindu, being that about 40% is India. I will say there is a very strong element of Christianity there, especially in the Chinese community. We were involved in Chinese Baptist church. There's nothing like a Chinese that's converted to Christianity. I mean, they are tough, unyielding, and you are all going to be Christians, whether you like it or not. Okay, they're very strong. They're very biblical. It's all black and white. Part of their strength is Christianity. Lu Q, the first president of Singapore, he's got a great book out right now. I should have bought it. He talks about how he founded Singapore, how he developed the first government. People looked at it as a dictatorship, but it's really become a democracy. I look at it as kind of benevolent dictatorship, which you can do in a small country, especially with a benevolent man. He talks very strongly in here about the principles of democracy and freedom and the basis of Christianity in that. So there is a very strong Christian influence in Singapore. But again, it's easy to formulate when you only got a small population of 3.5 million. I guess when I look at the world, if I were to bet who's going to survive, whether it's going to be the Muslims or who's going to the Confucianists or whatever, I guess probably because I've been exposed more to the Asian world with their conviction and their discipline and their tenacity. I don't think they'll ever succumb to the Muslim world. What you see already happening, like the Muslims have made big overtures in China, and they have a significant population in China. What they do, like Tibet has been a big thorn on China's side. But China took care of that. They just started paying people, mainland Chinese, to move into Tibet, and they just overwhelmed the population. Not unlike Mexico is doing to us. But anyway, the Chinese are going to survive some way or another. Where were they going? Oh, where I was going with that. My experience with Christianity in Asian cultures, they seem to have a desire for Christianity, and as more Chinese get into the South Asian areas, I think you may see Christianity grow very strong in those areas, and that may come back to kind of change the whole outlook of the Asian world and Asian philosophies. Christianity has a prayer almost any place except the Western world. Right now, Christianity is dying in this country. You look at the mainline churches are especially dying. I know I look at one especially because we look at the First Assembly of God. Their growth is in India, is in Asia. There's more Christian growth in those areas. That's where the missionaries are. The missionaries in this country are, the communists, the Marxists, etc. Okay, and the Islam. Christianity is not dead yet, and I think it may find its place in the Asian world.
We're talking about worldwide. Back down on our local level, do you feel like maybe the first place we might have some influences of what's going on in our schools?
Absolutely.
Because we are our grandparents and great-grandparents, but we've got children working through the school. We also, ex-teachers, also still volunteer at school to see what's going on. And it looks to me like our first influence can be through our local schools. Because we do have some say so in elections of the school board members and the policies they've got. And hopefully could find a way to help influence curriculum. Because this is one of the weakest areas of all.
Thank you.
Being a science teacher, of course, I know how it was taught. But whoever writes these textbooks, people would be enlightened if they could pick up some history books that the kids are studying right now, and civics books in our schools right here, and you probably wouldn't believe what you're reading.
You said, and you need to tell people about that. There's subtle changes that a lot of this audience would not believe. We got some good people in school. They all mean well. I don't think, personally, that they realize the depth of the issue and the competition is worldwide. I have a grandson that, well, first of all, he was going to a private school in Winter Garden, a Baptist school, and watching him with these other cousins, he was way ahead of where they were in the Orange County schools. Due to cost and everything else, my daughter transferred him into a science school down in Orlando, just light years ahead even of a private school here. Where I was really going with this, he's in 7th grade, and he was been nominated to what they call the future physicist of Florida. Florida State is one of the top 3 or 4 physics universities in the country. I don't even know anything about physics, but we don't graduate enough physics students to even take care of our high schools, our secondary schools, let alone our colleges, let alone meet industrial standards. And for a kid coming out of a physics program right now, if he's looking at a $150,000 to $200,000 job in industry, or he's looking at a $35,000 a year job in education, where's he going to go? Our physics programs are dying. My point was with this University of Florida, or Florida State program, they thought they would reach down into the junior highs in the state, and they would pick out a couple hundred kids, and they would work with them and develop them to make sure that kids that had potential, that they went on and stayed in the physics program, went on to university. They could only find 5 middle schools in the whole state. I'm not talking about total school systems where we had, a dozen middle schools. They could only find 5 middle schools, maybe 6, among all the private schools and the public schools in the whole state that had a physics program that would be able to support them as they try to bring these kids along. We are dead in the water in terms of what we look at in terms of physics and math. And if you know anything about where industry and where science is going, physics is the answer in the future. Everything has a physical element to it. We have no idea where we're going to go. I think we look at our school systems and we say, oh, well, Mary, she went to Brown, and Bill's kid, he went over to Harvard, and so this is a good school system. But look at the school system and also check out how well those kids competed once they did get to Brown and Harvard, etc. I don't think we're thinking near big enough for school system, and that's something we're going to have to keep promoting. My wife taught in China, she taught in Japan, and I just can't explain vividly enough the difference between the educational system, the intensity in those countries, and what it is here. I was trying to some Asian Americans back to China. And these were kids that were born in China, they'd studied in the United States in good private schools in Detroit, and they're going to take them back with us in China. They got over there and they were 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, and all of them. In this poor little town I was in, these kids had to be knocked down back 2 years, and they found themselves going to school in warehouse rooms of 50 and 60 kids, dirty and dingy and just intense. They went 5.5 days a week. They were going about 3 hours a day longer than they did in Bloomfield Hills in Detroit. That's the kind of intensity that the rest of the world is looking at, and we're not there. But we do a good job of developing self-esteem.
You know, part of the problem, I think, though, too, is that we've got so many people in academia, particularly in the institutes of higher learning, that are just filling these kids with all kinds of crap, and that's what's happening to Christianity. I mean, that's, the Judeo-Christian ethic is not something that they teach at all anymore. You know, guys like Bill Ayers and Obama and guys like that are teaching, and what are they teaching those kids?
Half of them are bad families, not in public schools. In fact, the contrary from public schools. I shouldn't even mention this, but this science school, my grandson that's learned since that well, I picked up on the TV. It's actually a Turkish school. There's a whole group of Turkish schools, probably 200, 250 around this country. Unbelievable discipline, unbelievable academic push. At the same time, they're trying to subtly introduce their Islamic character. They're trying to get these kids to go to Turkey and sell everything else. We took a hard look at that. These kids, in this particular family, have grown up in a Baptist atmosphere. They study religion at home. They study religion at school. And I think they can ward off the influence. In the meantime, take advantage of just this intense Asian quest for education. You ought to visit this sometime. It's down by the big bus depot across from Channel 6 down in Orlando. You just walk into the school. All the women are in dresses and high heels, suits and high heels. All the men are in suits and ties. Kids, the discipline, the order to school is just unbelievable. It's not a matter of whether you want to college or not. Every kid knows it's no matter what college I'm going to. FCATs, we don't worry about FCATs. FCATs are a breeze, but we're studying something far above it all the time. Just the discipline, and to me, it says though that we can do it in this country. Some other things you'll notice though in there, like my particular grandson, he's the only blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid in the whole school. The whole rest of the school is Asian